top of the world. It should have been somebody else. Believe it or not, I'm walking on air. I never thought I could feel so free. Flying away on a wing and a prayer. Who could it be? Believe it or not, it's just me. Dun, 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 dun. Do you want to continue? Yeah, well, just like the light of a new day, it hit me from out of the blue, breaking me out of the spell I was in, making all my wishes come true. Believe it or not, I'm walking on air. I never thought I could feel so free, flying away on a wing and a prayer. Who could it be? Believe it or not, it's just me. That's it, I'm done with that bullshit song.
It's not a bullshit song.
Well, I'll tell you something. Let me introduce this bullshit podcast and I'll get into my little grievance here. This is Invert the Why. Captain's Log, Stardate Log 12.1.5.9. And the USS Invert the Why is orbiting another planet of retronym and bullshit. And once again, I've got him back. Rocket Russell. Dun-dun.
AKA regular of the show.
Practically
on the payroll.
I think you've done more episodes than anyone else, dude.
That's it.
You should get like a little badge.
You should get a badge of honor.
A scratch and sniff.
Or I don't know if honor's the right word.
That's right.
Badge
Just
of
honor.
Shame. Shame.
And that voice you hear in the background is Jason Relaxation, who joins us yet again, the silent one.
I don't.
And you know who I am, you fucks. Now listen, the reason why we did that one, it's called Believe It or Not by Joey Scarberry.
Yeah.
Right? That was the theme song to The Greatest American Hero that was released in the very early 80s. And the reason why we sang that song is because Rocket Russell's wearing the Greatest American Hero t-shirt, right? But you know what? He kind of... It's cool. I'm cool with it. But he kind of fucked me because I had another one. And I'm going to give you more bang for your buck today, folks.
Please don't.
No, I fucking am. And I'll tell you why.
Too many bangs for my buck.
Silence! I'll tell you now, this is really important. There's a link.
No,
I had the link. No, there's a fucking link.
Okay.
You ready for it?
I'm ready for it.
Okay. This is my real song.
Ooh.
If I could turn back time, if I could find a way
to get the sticky tape out of my ass,
I'd take back those words that hurt you, and you'd stay.
How did you get the sticky tape up your ass?
Oh, mate, it was unbelievable. the shit she was wearing.
That was fucking shocking.
I don't know why I did the things I did. I don't know why I said the things I said.
I don't know why I'm
Pride's like a knife
gun.
that can cut deep inside.
Yeah, she does.
Words are like weapons, they weren't wounds sometimes. Down. I didn't really mean to hurt you. Down. I didn't want to see you go. I know I made you cry. But baby, if I could turn back time. If I could find a way.
That's enough.
I'd take back the words that hurt you. And you'd stay.
Do you reckon she was cold that night?
Mate, now listen.
She had a lot of tape on those nipples.
Now listen. The reason why that was my original theme song, but you fucked me, Rocket Russell, by wearing... Yes, now, that was on the Missouri, and this episode, topic of the show is about the Nimitz, another naval vessel. Do you see the link now, you fucks?
I see the link.
I see the link.
But also, too...
Now I've just got images of fucking sticky tape.
Well, 1989, there was something sticky in my pants.
With that.
That's right. But that might have been Zanyo.
Zanyo.
Right?
Zanyo shouldn't be sticky. If you've got sticky Zanyo, you've got bigger
No, that
problems.
does happen to me, too.
Oh, Jesus H. Royal.
But you know what can fix that?
I don't know. A doctor?
No.
Don't tell me you're going into an advertisement right off the bat.
Oh, wow. Straight into it. Here we go.
I think we might.
Oh, fucking hell.
Do you know sometimes if you suffer from Zanyo or sticky pants because you got drippy dick? Or sometimes you've
No,
got...
Daniel, I haven't experienced
Well,
that.
sometimes you might have incontinence that,
Well, I've experienced that.
as you get older,
Haven't we all?
we might have Well, you may want to reach out and get some nappies.
Depends.
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 That's right. We're not sponsored by the Pens.
But we should be.
But we well should be, because I don't know about you, but I've walked down the street and felt some squelching in my nether regions, and I've not realised what it was until I put my hand down there, and I'm glad I'm not like Cher from 1989 singing "If I Could Turn Back Time"
She'd be
on the
wanting
USS
to.
The sticky tape was
Missouri.
too tight. She couldn't have got her
That's
hand down
right.
there.
But you know what? Cher was not wearing very much at all, and she couldn't wear Depends, but you can. That's right. If you have like drippy dick or limp dick or any form of problems with your dick, you can wear Depends. And you know what else you can do, Rocket Russell?
You can
What can
depend on
you
your
do, Dan?
depends.
You can depend on me.
What a bad. That was
I'm just
bad
getting
fun.
ready when we fucking sell out, dude. I can't wait. And the next thing you know, we'll have multiple ads and we'll go, we just have to do it because we need the money. And then I'll have a fucking Patreon.
I thought we were
right?
doing. I thought the ad discussed during the week was for Pottery Pete's cups.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
you know what? Shout
Keep
out to
cups.
Pottery Pete, but where are the cups, you fuck?
Yeah, he promised us keep cups.
Well, you know what? I'll give
see
him.
tonight.
I'll defend him. Yeah, he's seeing him tonight. But you know what? Pottery Pete might be busy building Piss Week World, so I'll give him a
That
pass.
sounds awesome. I want to go there.
I want to go there bad. If he's got Piss Week World and Ghost Adventures tours, we're there. We're fucking
done.
going.
I'm going now.
Mate, we'll take your car because your car's a four-wheel drive, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck, we're done.
We'll chuck the swags in the back.
Done.
and off
Let's
we
go.
trot. Yeah, done.
I'll tell him. He'll be so over the moon.
No, serious, we'll go
Oh, yeah, I'm
camping.
sure. Yeah, yeah.
I've never been. I told you the fucking story. We'll go camping. No bullshit.
Okay, now, oh fuck, you've just fucked me.
Why?
Because this was in a podcast you guys did recently, bagging out camping.
Well, I've never been. I can't really.
Being
bang
an
it.
older person, you know, all of 43, I'm actually getting into camping at the moment, and I took offence.
Oh, well.
But we'll have to have another podcast.
You took offence.
Sorry, not sorry.
Yeah. I
No, I think
I didn't
I'll
say
tell you what.
anything.
You know what we should do? No bullshit.
Can we do a podcast from Potty Repeats?
Yes. Now I'll tell you what we do. I'll tell you something. Now I'll tell you something. When we get to 100 episodes,
The problem is he doesn't have enough electricity.
no, we're fucked.
We'll take our own batteries.
We'll take a generator.
You need a fair bit to power this rig.
No, but you know what we do? We get it. We do our 100th episode from Pottery Pete's Piss Week World. We do it live, and we get.
So
I'll tell you now.
Can we do the 50th? Because we've got a ways to go to
about
get
to
to
say-
100.
Haven't we just...
No, we're up to what 30 something now, aren't
Yeah,
we?
we've got a ways to go to get to 100.
I'm busy though. I don't want to do it in the next couple of weeks.
That's going to be more than a couple of weeks.
I say we do our 100th episode from Pottery Pete's Piss Week World, right? And we get all of our guests back on. We get like Super Simon,
that'd be
Sassy
hilarious.
Sahini,
Whole bag
Cyber
of gummy
Dunk.
bears.
We get like everybody back.
Well, I was
That's
actually
been-
going to say something that there should be a Christmas special with everybody.
Oh, let's
That
do
would
it.
be fucking sick.
Oh, Christmas special at Pottery Pete's.
Let's do it. Yeah.
Pottery
Pottery
Pete.
Pottery Pete's Christmas special podcast at Piss Week World.
So,
and we
so
get-
Pottery Pete's got 5 months to get Piss Week World
That's
up and
right.
running, and
Well, it won't take long.
It won't take long.
He's got a container full of dead Chinese in the back.
Didn't we agree that they were prosciutto de
Oh, that's right. Because that was offensive. So there are 100 wogs in a fucking container. That's all right.
Smoke prosciutto themselves.
That'd be cool. We get everyone that's been on the podcast or future guests that are coming on the podcast. Isn't that right? Jason Relaxation, the silent one. And we get them on and we say, you know what? Thanks for being on the podcast this year. We made 100 episodes. We sold out. We've got advertisements now for
you're up to
incontinent pads.
34, so
We're
how
up
many
to like
episodes?
30 something.
34.
Yeah,
I've just
some-
checked. It's,
Yeah.
30
Well, who
out.
knows when we upload this bullshit? There could be fucking 80. by
Okay,
then.
so it's standing at the moment. It was-
I think we've got in the can roughly 40 something.
Oh, that's good.
So we've got a ways to go. But by the time we get our shit organised.
Ways to
No,
go.
by the time we get our shit
It
organised.
won't be Christmas. Fuck me.
No, it'll be after Christmas. So everyone's got
But I'm
plenty
saying
of
there
time.
should, there should be a Christmas special.
Yeah, there should be a Christmas
It doesn't
special.
have to be a Piss Week World. We can do Piss Week World as a separate one, but a Christmas special with
Works for
everybody.
me.
I reckon that's fucking
There'd be
sick.
so many fucking snakes there, though.
All right. You know what? So everyone that's been on the podcast so far, we're going to have a Christmas special.
So get your shit together.
Get your shit together, you fucks. And you know who won't be on that Christmas special?
Pottery Pete.
No.
He better be there.
No.
Oh, is it going to be? Is it a certain suppressive personality?
Exactly.
That motherfucker ain't even
That
coming on the pod.
motherfucker ain't coming to any podcasts, and he certainly won't come to our
No
Christmas
shirt
podcast.
for you.
That's right.
That's right. If you do come to the Christmas party, hopefully they decide that they can ship again to
You know what
Australia.
he'll do just to piss me off? He'll come one day before the Christmas party special and say, I was part of your podcast this year. I bet he fucking
Well,
does.
then you can put in the catch that it has to be of an aired podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, fuck him. You know what we'll do? We'd fuck him anyway.
Don't air it.
No, exactly. We'd stick it in the can for a rainy day.
Or make it the Patreon special.
It'll probably be one of
the
those
Patreon special.
That's what people have to pay to hear it. You know what? That's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
If you donate $5, you get to hear fucking Pedro.
You get to hear the suppressive
That
personality.
would be awesome, man.
The sultry tones
You know what?
of
And I'll go out of
Pedro.
my way to get every person I knew from high school. Shout out to you, all you fucking glow-in-the-dark motherfuckers. You know who you are because you went to a radioactive school. What will happen is I'll get them all on the podcast except for that little prick, right? And he'll miss out. He'll miss out just like he missed out having a shower in Germany and he stunk. That's a true story.
That's a true fact.
That was fucking backed up by Cyberdunk. Shout out to him. Right? No bullshit.
I haven't made it through all of Cyberdunk's one yet because I
it
got
actually was
sidetracked
good.
with our fucking rabbit hole.
Yeah, yeah. It was good.
I got sidetracked by 2 rabbit holes. You guys mentioned Red
Well,
Dwarf.
let's get into it.
So I had to start watching Red Dwarf.
Oh, Red Dwarf's awesome.
I know, I love Red
Yeah.
Dwarf.
But the major rabbit hole I think you might have got sidetracked in is what we'll go to now. Yeah. This is big, man.
That was
I'm
a
gonna-
lovely segue, by the way. Thanks for that.
Awesome segue.
There was a very good chance we were going to talk for about an hour before we got
Yeah.
to the topic.
And then we were sitting there going, we haven't got enough time.
No, I'll tell you what. I want to get out of this bullshit podcast under 45 minutes.
No.
Because I'm telling you now,
You're
this
so
We're going
full
for a
of...
record.
yeah, I'm done.
I think our shortest episode ever is like 45 minutes.
Nah, shortest. I think our shortest one was about an hour.
That's what she said.
That's a lot of hugging.
I was going to say that's most of
So
the...
that's dressed, showered, and then
Mate,
I made gone out, had a coffee,
made dinner,
made breakfast,
did the vacuuming,
did the back,
did the washing,
and still had 3 minutes to come.
dried my incontinent pads, my Depends.
but they're not meant to be reusable, man. You know that, don't you?
Well, you got to save money in this tight economy that we have.
It's a
Now,
hole.
listen. Okay, so that was a good segue because this is a big rabbit hole, right?
Massive.
Gonna need your help, right? Because I don't have all of the knowledge that you do.
I
on
don't think
this.
anyone has all the
This
knowledge.
is tough, right? What we want to talk about is the event that occurred in 2004. And again, Rocket Russell, pull me up if I'm wrong at any point here. So in 2004, there was an event that a couple of naval vessels, one of them was the USS Nimitz, and the other one was the USS Princetown.
Yes.
And in 2004, both these vessels, one's an aircraft carrier, which is the Nimitz,
Yep.
and the Princetown's what, a destroyer or something like this.
Is it a destroyer or is
It's
it
a really-
it's a radar ship?
But a really sophisticated radar vessel.
Well, the most sophisticated one, apparently.
Now, these two vessels, particularly the Princetown, had noticed unidentified objects in the vicinity of San Diego or off the coast of San Diego for about a day while they were doing training exercises.
3 days.
3 days.
There was 3 days of,
They were doing training exercises, right?
Yes.
And during that time, the Princetown had picked up these unidentified objects.
Yes.
And then the Nimitz had sent, as part of the training exercises, which is an aircraft carrier, it had sent up some fighter jets, F-18s, I think they were.
Yes.
And they were doing their training exercises as per normal. And then the Princetown contacted the Nimitz and contacted the aircraft, the F-18s, and said, can you please go to these coordinates? We've seen an unidentified object in this area and we want you to check it out. And so, again, please correct me if I'm wrong. No. These aircraft went to this area and what they saw was a partially submerged object under the ocean.
Yes.
And this object looked like a giant Tic Tac. It was white. It was completely devoid of any kind of antenna, kind of any sort of surface.
And it was in an orange box.
And don't fuck. This is hard. Don't fuck me around. Don't pull your fucking Bob Lazar bullshit on me now. Don't fucking remember. Silence.
There's 2 different accounts there. So the account from the pilots was that it was a Tic Tac looking object. One of the flight crew on the Princeton said that there was 2 possible aerial things coming from the bottom of it. So semantics,
Yeah,
basically. But basically the basic gist
it
of
looked like a Tic Tac.
It looked like a Tic Tac.
Now, at first, the pilots reported that it might have been a submerged aircraft, and they actually contacted the Princeton, saying, "Is this? Do you know of any aircraft that have been downed or are missing or anything like this? Because we think it might be a 747 or something like that."
Yep.
It was roughly the size of a 747.
They reckon about 40 foot.
Yeah, something like that. And so the Princetown's gone, no, we're not aware of anything like that. And they couldn't work out what was going on. And as they were circling around this submerged object, please correct me if I'm wrong, another Tic Tac UFO came up against the 2 F-18 fighter jets and kind of went into like a positioning maneuver above the surface of the ocean.
Yes. Well,
Okay.
I believe that as they were coming to it was already in the position above the.
Yeah, there was another one.
There was-
is what I'm trying to.
yep.
There was 2.
There was 2.
One was submerged. One was in the air.
Yes.
And so the F-18 pilots basically have been recorded as saying, "What on earth is that?"
Yep.
And then they sort of went
It
into
was on infrared as well, and there was a couple other.
yeah, and
Yeah,
they sort of went into a bit of a dogfighting maneuver, bunch of
So
maneuvers.
the female pilot who's been unnamed as of yet.
She's still not coming forward.
No, she's been interviewed, but she's apparently still in the Air Force or the Navy and doesn't want to be known. She was acting as the wingman, so she was in high cover, so keeping an eye on it. Is it? I forget his name. What was it? David Frar.
Frever,
something?
Frever, I think his name was. He was the
lead-
captain. He was the captain.
He was the
Yeah.
captain, the lead pilot. So he didn't chase it, but decided to point his nose and head towards
He
it.
did chase it, and that's when he said, "If we go into combat with these things, we're in trouble because we can't outmaneuver them."
We can't outmaneuver them.
And then the object that was basically being chased by the F-18s went into the ocean. It submerged, didn't it? It went into the ocean in a rapid deceleration. And then what I didn't know at first, but then I've kept watching this documentary you sent me. There was a submarine.
Yes.
That was in the waters because it was also part of the training exercises that the Nimitz and the Princetown were involved in.
Yep.
I can't remember the name of the submarine. It was a nuclear submarine.
It was just part of the battle fleet.
Yeah, and it observed on its sophisticated radars this Tic Tac object going into the water at a rapid rate and went extremely deep, far deeper than the submarine
And it
could
was
do.
rated, they spotted it at 90 knots. Although there's no one officially off the submarine has come forward, this was what was relayed to one of the radio people on the Princeton.
Yeah. So now this thing's gone really deep, far deeper than the submarine could go.
Yep.
And it kind of did maneuvers in the water that are completely beyond anybody's comprehension. And then it's gone straight up again out of the water at a rapid rate.
Yep.
It's gone beyond the water and then gone straight up into the stratosphere. Is that right?
28,000 feet.
Yeah.
And they reckon it covered from the ocean floor to the 28,000 feet in 0.7 of a second.
Which means it's travelling at nearly 4,000 kilometres an hour.
Yeah.
So this thing did some crazy shit, right?
That's pretty quick.
Yeah. Now,
Well,
did it?
that was
What's
saying-
interesting is what kind of organism could handle the G force?
Well, that's what I was
That's
just
what
about to
that's
say,
what
is
they're
the
saying.
G-forces would
Well, you know
just-
what? We could go into the debate on that. Was there anything in there at all? They don't know. We don't know. But the thing did do that. And what I can't remember is whether or not it came back again and had a bit more of a dogfight with the F-18s. I think it might have.
They tracked it for a little while.
They tracked it, didn't they?
They tracked it, and then it decided that it had enough.
And it pissed off. It
And
went
it
back up.
disappeared.
It disappeared. Now, the second object that was submerged in the ocean, what became of that? Did it
they
actually?
have no idea.
Did it go back underneath the ocean, or did
They
it go
have
up?
Absolutely
It just
no
vanished.
idea. It vanished.
That's what I couldn't work out when I watched these documentaries, which we'll get to in a minute.
Yep.
I couldn't work out from watching anything that I'd seen on YouTube or on the documentaries
There's
you sent
differing
me.
stories. There's two stories. One story is that it was one object
Yep.
and it went under the water and then came back up. There's a second story that there was an object under the water. The second object was hovering above it, and then it just whilst they were concentrating on the one in the air, it disappeared.
That's what I couldn't work out. But at the end of the day, it didn't actually dogfight with the F-18s, did it?
No.
The first one did.
The first one did.
Yeah.
The one that was in the air.
Yeah. So long story short, in 2004, this occurred, and a lot of people on the Princetown and on the Nimitz, but particularly the Princetown, saw this shit.
Yes.
And they've come forward.
It was November 10, wasn't it? November 10.
Yeah,
they launched the aircraft went into the air on the November 14th, and they'd been watching stuff on the Aegis, isn't it? Aegis radar system. So that's the
Aegis, that's it. Aegis, that's the advanced radar system.
So that's the most
Princetown's
advanced
got.
radar system in the world. That is built into it. It'll detect, so it knows if it's a 747 by the signature, and
that's it. Yeah,
so
the second you switch it on, it actually automatically detects what it is.
So what we also should mention is in the days beforehand, they had been tracking these things. I believe on November 10th, they actually put the system into a reboot.
Because they thought it was a fuck up.
They thought it was a fuck up. They thought they were seeing
Have you tried
traces.
turning it off and on again?
Yeah. Well, the Princetown is the main vessel here that actually found these things.
Yes.
And the other thing
That's because it's a faster moving ship, right? It's out in front.
But it also had the Aegis.
It's got the Aegis.
It's got the Aegis radar system, which is more advanced than what the Nimitz has got. The other thing is that the Princetown had contacted the Nimitz and said, "Are we able to order your squadron
to fly over
these objects?"
Yep.
But the other thing that the Princetown did once they started flying over the submerged Tic Tac, the Princetown contacted the fighter pilots and asked the captain. Freya, I think his name is, or Freva.
It starts with
I think it's Freva. They asked him, "What is your payload?
Yeah, what are you carrying?
Yeah, right?"
And you blow the fuck out of it if you
and
need
they
to.
said to, and then the fighter pilot said,
Fravor.
Fravor.
F-R-A-V-O-R.
Yeah, Fravor. I knew it was something like that. So he said, "Listen, all we've got is training payloads, which means we've got nothing. We don't have any missiles. We're not."
They got fuel, basically.
Yeah, exactly. But they've got the weight of a missile, but it's basically a token object.
The part they had on, it's like a missile, but it's actually a radar system.
Yeah.
So what you're seeing in the video clip that was released by the DoD, which is Department of Defense,
because they can actually
is from that.
Yeah, so
radar.
on an F-18 or any sort of aircraft in the military, they can essentially attach different types of radar depending on the mission type, and in the same kind of bay that you would attach a missile. So that's what they've done. And so when you see the images there, that is a radar system.
Yes.
It's not a missile.
No.
So at the end of the day, they did ask these fighter pilots, "Are you carrying anything that can blast this thing out of the water?"
It sounds like a really dumb idea.
Yeah.
But they must have had something go through their minds that we may need to engage this object because...
Which in itself spooky that they're thinking that way.
Well, that's what these fighter pilots have now come out and said. Because actually the
The part that
recording...
spooks me is the fact that it took them 4 days.
Yeah.
To decide, maybe we should send something up to have a look at
So
these
what
things.
happened in between?
Yeah.
Well, they were tracking him for 4 days.
Yeah, they didn't know what it was.
What would prompt them to think that this is hostile?
Well, that was what the female fighter pilot said that she's been recorded as saying in the audio log, which is, "I've got a really bad feeling about this because they're now asking us what payload we have, which means they want to know if we were capable of firing on this thing." And the fighter pilots were saying, if we engage with these Tic Tac objects, we've got no chance because it can outmaneuver us so easily. There's no way we're going to survive a fight with this thing, right?
No.
Let alone what capabilities and weapons it's got, or even if our weapons will hurt it, right?
But at the same time, you'd think if it was that big a deal, they'd sort of call upon more jets.
No,
having only 2 fighter jets up in the air doesn't make sense.
There was 3
for a
wasn't there?
Nimitz class.
Two.
Yeah, having a Nimitz class aircraft carrier, which has a fuck ton more planes on board.
Well, this was always, and there's a couple of things that indicate that they wanted to keep this pretty quiet because they limited the number of aircraft exposed to the objects. That's the first thing.
Mm-hmm.
The second thing is that when they went back to the Nimitz and landed on the aircraft carrier, they went into their debriefing room, and after they went back to their quarters, there was government personnel went to the aircraft and removed the flight recorders or whatever you call those things and took possession of them.
They took possession. Well, the story is that a unidentified Black Hawk was landed on the Nimitz and on the Princeton. Went to the Nimitz first. It took the flight logs and it also took the radar logs.
Yes, yeah.
Tapes.
And these are very sophisticated logs too. These logs will basically show exactly what occurred from the eye view of the aircraft,
Yes.
as well as the maneuvers, everything.
Yeah.
Right? And so it was removed and seized by
by unknown people in a
right?
Black Hawk.
Yes.
That was then flown over to the Princeton, where
That's
Kevin
right.
Day, who's the main
He's a radar guy, isn't he?
radar guy, who was one of the, according to everything, one of the highest ranking. So he's actually studied at Top Gun as a radar guy and a flight designator, I believe it was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So his job was not only to see what was in the air, but was to get the F-18s there safely and back home. So
yeah.
he was one of the highest ranked. He went to make a recording and to back everything up, but the tapes had already gone.
Yeah.
So the Black
So
Hawk come over.
some really weird shit, and this wasn't originally released as part of the conversations that the fighter pilots had. This has come out in the wash after the fact.
Yeah,
because
so this has all come out as of December 2017.
Yes.
When the American Navy has come out and basically there was a Congress letter released, and in it was a mysterious $22 million spent on a thing called ATIP, which is the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program.
Yeah, this is the big thing now that's running around called ATIP.
ATIP, yes.
Yeah. So what is ATIP again? What is it?
ATIP was a department set up within the Defence Force to look into the hundreds, apparently, well, 3 that we know of events. So there's the Tic Tac event from 2004. Then there's the gimbal, and what's the other one? I think they're called the high speed event.
Yep.
The high speed event is sus.
But
Just due to the fact of the size of the
Yeah.
aircraft, they think it may have been a drone. But the gimbal event is definitely something that happened.
that was captured on another fighter jet, wasn't
Yes.
it? That was that's the one. We'll get to him in a minute. Tom DeLonge was banging the drum about, where it's so clear what this object is, and then it just shoots off like a bullet.
Gone.
That you can't see it anymore. It's just 1 minute it's on the radar, the next minute it's completely gone. But you do see it move. You do see it speed off.
Well, you see that on the Tic Tac. You see
Yes.
it just exit stage left.
Yeah.
It's just gone.
Yeah.
You know, and those radars, they're not hanging around.
Yeah.
They're moving at a rapid pace.
I'll be honest with you, man. Like, when you said to me, I want to talk about the Tic Tac event, I actually had no idea what it was, because I'd never heard of this event. And when I thought when you said Tic Tac, what I thought you meant was the way that these
Minty fresh?
No, the way these aircraft move, right? Because there's been other documentaries in the past and other I guess bits of evidence in the way that the aircraft move. There's different ways that these things move, and I thought when you said Tic Tac, they move in a certain way, but they actually look like friggin' Tic Tacs.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep. That was what it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's interesting, and it's
Yeah.
a fucking rabbit hole, isn't it?
This is a rabbit hole, man. But what's happened now is that there's a couple of personnel from the Princetown as well as the Nimitz.
So we've had Kevin Day, who was the head radar operator.
He was from the Princetown.
From the
Yep.
Princetown. You've had, what was the other? Sean Cahill, who was the intelligence security.
Not the football player.
No, not the football player.
That's Tim Cahill.
Is it? Yeah, the soccer. Yeah, the Aussie dude. Yep.
I'm fucking with you.
I know. Fucking, can I rant at him?
Yeah.
Don't Bob Lazar.
That's it. Fucking ranted him. If I had done that, he would have fucking gone off.
Now you know how now you know how it is. You fuck.
You fuck.
Silence.
So Sean Cahill was one of the intelligence officers.
Yep.
Slash security on the Princeton. He saw it through binoculars.
Yes, he visually saw it.
He visually saw
without
it
the
through
radar.
binoculars,
Yes,
without radar. So he was
how
on the
he
flight.
did that, I have no idea. I think he fluked that, to be honest.
Well, they had an area of the sky they were looking at.
What was the name of the binoculars they use? They're mounted
they're
on the.
mounted
They're
on-
mounted
Yeah,
on the ship.
They're not like your $50.
Yeah, it's not
Australian-
like
no.
it's not like the $2 thing up at fucking the Blue.
but they kind of look really
Mountain.
primitive though. Like they kind of look dodgy. You know what I mean? Like
you'd be surprised.
no, I know, but they look kind of primitive. They remind me of the old you know when you go to a park and you look through binoculars to see.
yeah.
That's what I'm saying. The old $2 ones up at the Blue Mountains.
Yeah. That's
No,
what
they're
look
far more sophisticated than that.
Far more.
I know, but they looked like that. You know.
Yeah, they got that look about
They're
them.
not for bird watching.
No.
So he's come out, and then you've got the other radio operator who spoke to the submarine.
Yep.
I can't remember his name off the top of my head.
You also had a lot of the submarine personnel come
Well,
forward.
no.
too.
None of the submarine personnel have come forwards. They've spoken to the other guy,
Yep.
who's come and reported for them.
On their behalf, yeah.
On their behalf,
Yes.
because they don't want to come out in
No,
public.
because they've still got careers.
Yes.
So what we should really do is go back a step here too. There's a documentary that you put me onto, which explains all of this.
Which is breaking into it. It's called Unidentified. It's on the American History Channel at the moment.
It's called what again?
Unidentified.
Right. Now, this one had a bunch of people come forward, and those people that came forward said, we're also representing our colleagues on the submarine, Nimitz, and the Princetown, or the Princeton.
Yep.
Because they've still got careers. We've
And they don't wanna
retired.
come forwards.
Most of these guys have retired, or they've...
Majority of the people
left.
in the team that's looking into all this at the moment are all retired.
Yeah, they've all left. I think there was too much for them. But what they said was a lot of people came forward to us specifically, but because they've still got careers and obviously families to look after, they don't want to leave their jobs and put their careers in jeopardy. Because bit of a hot topic.
When you talk, one of the things I have found quite they all speak about is the Navy is letting these people speak.
Yeah.
If the Navy didn't want you to speak, you don't speak.
Exactly.
But the Navy has come out and it's actually quite, yes, you can speak about it.
What do you think that is?
Oh, look, the Navy's...
Is it just too much shit now that they can't
I just
deny
think
it?
the Navy's more upfront than everybody, if you know what I mean.
Well, you said the Air Force is pretty hush-hush.
Well, the Air Force hasn't come out yet.
Yeah.
I mean, the Air Force runs Area 51.
Yep.
They run Groom Lake. They run all of those kind of things. They've kept very quiet, although the Navy has chucked the challenge out to them going, well, we've come out and said a few things. What have you got, Air Force?
Yeah, but why? Well, I don't understand why. Is it because that they've got stuff that they just can't deny anymore? Or, you know what I mean? That Tic Tac event is pretty bloody obvious. So if you start denying that, you're going to look pretty silly. And I just wonder if it's forced their hand a little bit. That's what I'm trying to get at.
I think that the hand has been forced.
Yeah.
And you got your Freedom of Information Acts and all those kind of things where people knew about this and had hinted for long times that this had happened. And I think finally, the Department of Defense has received enough information about it. And this is the part I can't work out. And they're all relating it back to Tom DeLonge.
Yeah, we'll get to him now. Let's get to him.
So
he's an interesting cat.
He's a really interesting cat.
Former band member of Blink-182. I think he was the guitar player.
He was according to him, the founder of Blink-182.
He was.
Was he?
He was, yeah. And
I had no idea who he was.
Yeah, no, he's...
Because I like bands, I can't care about
He was...
artists.
I'm not a big fan of Blink-182, so if I've got it all wrong, I apologise, but he was in Blink-182. He was one of the original band members of Blink-182, that's true. He was, I think, the guitar player, or maybe even I don't think he was the bass player, but he was the guitar player, did vocals as well. Was a pivotal guy. He was on music video clips. He had his face all over that kind of scene, right?
Yes.
But he ended up leaving the band, and he left the band 100% to investigate UFOs.
So he set up the To the Stars Academy.
Right. Now let's explain what To the Stars Academy is, because that's what he now works on. He left Blink-182 to set up this organisation called To the Stars. What is To the Stars?
To the Stars is 3 wings, isn't it? So you've got the research wing, which is looking into things like Tic Tac events and all those kind of things.
The business side of it.
You've got the business side of it, and then you've got the media side of it. So it was originally set up with the intention of making movies.
That's right. Now, this is going back to what I said about Bob Lazar, right? And what I said about Bob Lazar is, and this has been thrown at me for quite a long time, is quite often there will be different forms of media that are let out to soften the blow of the reality of the situation, right? And when Tom DeLonge was explaining what To the Stars is, he basically said that we're going to create media, whether it's movies, whether it's some other form of media that people can consume, and it softens the blow and gives them the knowledge that UFOs are real.
Well, as he has said, we're a front. We're a communications front for people who want to get shit out.
That's right. Now, that's what Tom DeLonge's working on. Are we satisfied with that?
Yes.
Okay. Tom DeLonge's really interesting because he appeared on the Joe Rogan podcast. Now, I know you got problems with it, but my problem with that podcast he was on is that Tom DeLonge, how he is part of this organisation is really crazy. Are we
Yes.
are we in agreement of that?
We're in massive agreement
Okay.
with that. It is
so this is a
weird.
guy. I'll use
Understatement of the
I'll
century.
use
Yeah.
Joe Rogan's own words here. It's really hard to comprehend that a guy that was in a rock band, Blink 182, love him or hate him, that's what he was doing,
Mm-hmm.
can somehow bring military forces, scientific forces,
It's unbelievable.
business, private industry forces together to create media or whatever it is he's creating to help promote and sell the idea of UFOs and make it more palatable for the public, right? That shit is crazy. And whenever he was asked the question, why you and how did you pull this off? He goes, oh, I can't go into that detail.
Yeah.
But it was fucking weird because at one point he says, well, I'll give you this little tidbit of information, which is I was always the guy that was into UFOs. And they knew that I was in the UFOs, and then one
And
day
they put stuff together.
they put stuff together on me, and then one day I got a random phone call about come and meet me at 2 a.m. at this diner. We'll have a coffee, and I'll give you some classified information. And from there, we want you to help us build this organization.
Yes.
Are you fucking serious now? He
that's-
sounded like he took a shit ton of drugs. To, you know what I mean?
That's weird.
He probably did.
I'm sure he did, right?
That is the weirdest part of it. Is
But that's basically what he said.
that's basically what he said. There's
You know,
no denying.
that's on the Rogan podcast if you want to check it out. Yeah, but that is 100% what he said, right? And even Rogan, and I know you've got problems with that, and I agree. He was like, "You're fucking kidding me!" And every time he pushed him for like, "Well, give me some more information," because at the moment you sound like a bit of a weirdo. He went, "Oh no, I can't go into that because they won't let me talk about that."
Yeah, and
you
we
know?
discussed that we know now through timeline of events that interview was held in 2017.
Yep.
2 weeks before that, Louis Elizondo, who was the head of ATIP, had just quit ATIP.
Yep.
And had just been recruited to come to the Academy of the Stars. So I imagine at the time there was a lot of stuff going on. And as I've said, I think that he probably should have cancelled the podcast and held on for a little while because
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with him not going into detail. But when he was pushed, tell me why a rock star is the guy that can pull all of this together. He was really weird with that, right?
Yeah.
And so I would
And it
ask...
doesn't make sense
It
at
doesn't,
all.
because I would ask the question too. I would say, listen, man, you're a guy that played guitar or bass or whatever the fuck it was in Blink 182.
How the fuck do you have the credibility
Right.
or the means to do this?
Exactly.
And let's be real here. I'm going to be a pricky and people are going to hate me. Blink 182 weren't the biggest band in the world, right? They played 3 chords and got away with it, right? And so... And let's be real, their popularity was probably in the late 90s, maybe early 2000s, right?
With a very niche market.
With a very niche market.
it was a
Skaty punk.
lifestyle, wasn't it? Lifestyles of the rich and famous.
Yeah, but they had albums like Dude Ranch, and they probably a bit more
It was
post-punk.
basically for kids that didn't want to commit to real.
No, they weren't my favorite band, and I am pissing on them. But he did have talent. He did have talent, right? And I'll tell you now, later Blink 182 albums or songs weren't bad. I'll give them credit, right? Like I think it was Adam's song was actually a pretty good track that they wrote. And I went, "Fuck, you're capable of writing that?" Because in the early records that they released was shit. I don't care what anyone says. But anyway, be that as it may, he was no fucking Brian May. You know what I mean?
Oh, no.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He ain't Robert Plant, right?
No.
I'm throwing this shit out there. So what I'm saying is, he was asked a very valid question is, you're a guy from a rock band, punk band, whatever you
How
want to
the
label
fuck?
them. How the fuck are you, how are people that are scientists, business people,
Well, I'm looking at the team here.
entrepreneurs, how are you pulling this all together? And he couldn't answer it.
It's a celebrity thing.
He's not the biggest celebrity out there. That's the point.
No, it's like they had to find a celebrity that was into UFOs. You think you get Joe Rogan to be that person?
Yeah, but well, you know what?
Because it's not Bigfoot. Joe Rogan loves Bigfoot. more
no,
than he
Joe Rogan
UFOs.
loves UFOs.
UFOs and Bigfoot.
He loves UFOs, but you know what? He would actually be more credible.
He's probably got a better credibility.
He would.
rating.
So if Joe Rogan was doing what Tom Delonge's doing, it'd actually be more credible, in my opinion, because you know his background, you know he's a bigger celebrity, you know he's got the biggest podcast in the world, you know he's got this and that.
Second biggest.
That's right, maybe third biggest now because we.
Are we doing a breakaway cup?
I might do a breakaway one. I might go solo. Fuck this loser over here. The
He
silent
doesn't
one.
look at all phased. Look at
Whatever, man.
He's had enough, you know. He's had enough. I agree with him. We've pumped out a lot of I'm very proud of us. We've pumped out a lot of podcasts lately.
some good content.
You know what? We might take a little fucking holiday.
We should take a holiday. I'm tired.
Yeah. We might take a holiday. You
all,
know
all
what?
of this thinking and prep work.
Just remember when
It
you
isn't
do,
all Skittles, people.
when you do go on holidays, don't forget to take your Depends because you never know.
Does that mean I need to put the music in twice? Are you selling out big time now? We're having 2 ads.
I fucking love. I heard a podcast the other day. I won't say who it is. This guy says, "Well, if you're hearing ads more than once, something's wrong." And I must have heard 5 ads in the space of an hour and a half on this podcast. I'm like, well, you obviously don't listen to your own podcast because fuck me, there were 5 ads on this podcast. You know
That's
what
like
I mean?
listening to Rogan. You got to skip the first 7 minutes of any Rogan podcast.
Yeah, but he doesn't. But that's how he gets over not having any ads in his 3 hours of podcast.
don't-
But you got to make the guy's got to
gotta
make money. You got to do it. You're not doing this shit for love, right? And fuck me, I'm over it. You know what I mean? We've done, how many podcasts have we done?
I don't know, 40 something.
I'm fucking over it. I'm done. It's every weekend. It's
Well,
like
imagine having 1,300.
and I'll tell you what else happened. Like, this is how hard this podcasting shit gets, right? People think it's easy. It's not. You get a random phone call from one of your mates at fucking 9 o'clock at night and says, I'm coming over with a USB stick. You need to watch this. Right?
I wonder who the fuck that
I wonder who that was. This was like fucking...
He pings me and he goes, guess who's coming over my place? And I'm like, I'm still on
I get
the
this
train.
random ass fucking phone call from Rocket Russell last week, and he says, "Got something for you. We need to discuss it before the podcast." I'm like, "Oh, here we go." It was like Deep Throat. He met me in a car park, and he's like,
You want to hear something really funny? So I pulled out of my driveway. I'm like, so I know the guy who lives 2 doors up from me. Get along with him like a house on fire. We go forward driving together. He's getting out of his car as I'm driving past. So I've stopped to say hello, and he's like, "Oh, it's a bit late for you to be going out at night, mate." And he says, "You normally tucked up in bed." I said, "Yeah. Just off to a mate's place to drop off a USB stick," and just fucking conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
all night. And I was like,
It was,
and
man.
I just started laughing. He said,
like-
"Why are you laughing?" Wait, mate, if you knew what I was going to drop off.
If you just knew it was
And
on
I'll
this
tell you
USB.
something now. He gave me the world's smallest USB stick. I fucking lost it 20 times. I didn't know where I put it, right?
That's what she
What is
said.
it? 32 gigs. And it's the size of it's less than the size of your thumbnail.
Welcome to technology, man.
Oh, mate.
Well, I think they do it on purpose at that size, so you'll lose the stick.
Yeah,
that's
they
not
do.
the USBs is not the most impressive. The micro SD cards are the ones that really spin me out. Tiny micro SD with 64,
You know where that came
128
from?
gig.
That came from
Alien technology.
Alien Tech from Roswell. I'm telling you now. I want to talk about.
Apparently, the exciting stuff's glass.
What?
Like being able to store data in glass.
That's
Apparently
going to happen.
That's the latest thing.
That's going to happen.
That's going to be true Star Trek.
Well, you know what? I'll tell you now. I want to talk about Roswell a little bit, but going back to Tom DeLonge, right? Doesn't make sense, but he's put it all together, right, in this organization.
I'm sitting here. I'm looking at.
Maybe he just had the passion.
He does. He does. I don't doubt that he doesn't have the passion. He does, but it just seems a little bit odd. But anyway, going back to your documentary, right? I haven't watched all of it. I've only watched.
I'm partway through episode 4.
Yep.
And so the first 3 episodes basically covering Tic Tac.
Yep.
What's happened with Tic Tac.
Yep.
Episode 4 has just gone into Gimbal and the other one. So you'll get to that soon.
So is Tic Tac one of the biggest events of modern times?
Probably the most visible. Yeah.
I think it's pretty huge because that basically was. You've got multiple people on multiple different vessels and multiple different parts of the coast
And
of
over
California,
multiple days.
saying this shit. I saw this shit, right? What was
Incredible people. We're not talking.
Oh no, these are real,
random potheads out in the middle of a
No.
field. You're talking military personnel.
not Tom DeLonge.
You're not talking Tom DeLonge.
You're talking about real life
Oh, well, you look at
Navy personnel.
You look at Kevin Day. His record, his military
Yeah,
record
yeah.
is impeccable.
Yeah,
Farrah, the pilot.
Forever.
You don't get to Top Gun for being a fucking pothead smoking pot out in the middle.
No.
You know, that Top Gun is
No, and
that's
it's
the echelon.
And it's interesting that obviously a lot of them fear for their careers on this still because the female fighter pilot didn't come forward until quite recently.
well, she still hasn't come forward. She's just interviewed.
She's been it, but she's done the sock puppet.
Like in the Done in the Dark. You know, like
she's
Bob,
done in the,
Bob Lazar's first
Dennis.
interview. You know,
Dennis. Yeah, Dennis. Hello, my name is Dennis. But yeah, it's a bit weird that one, you know. And so the Tic Tac event is something that I don't think they can deny. That's why they've been a bit more forthcoming. The Navy.
There's no denying.
You can't deny it.
There's
No.
The Navy's come out and said they don't know what it is. It's UAP.
It's probably just the Air
What do
Force
you reckon?
fucking with them.
Okay, wacky
Well,
theory.
see, that's one of the things they go into on the podcast. So there was actually a scramjet flight that was scheduled on the same day. So a lot of people were like, well, it was the scramjet. But they've shown footage of the scramjet, and the heat signature off the back of the scramjet.
It's dead. Yeah, it's noticeable.
It's more just noticeable. It is massive. And that's the part that gets them is, the Tic Tac got no flightable surfaces, no
heat.
portholes, no heat.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just... It's beyond anything we've even...
So speculation, what do you think the submerged Tic Tac was? Do you think it was a crashed, downed Tic Tac?
No, definitely not.
I'd say it was something down there. They're exploring.
They're looking for something down there.
Looking for something.
I think they were looking for something down there because they both
Looking
went down
for
there.
whales.
Oh, the take back Star Trek 4. There
So
be
you reckon
whales, Captain.
So you reckon this is how we got perspex as thin as we have now?
That's right. He gave the guy the formula for perspex.
Yeah. For cheaper perspex.
That's right.
It's you can't deny it. It's there. The video footage is there. I would like to see, because according to the thing, there is a longer footage. The original footage was 13 minutes.
What of the dogfight with the Tic Tac?
It was originally 13 minutes.
Because the fighter pilots say they were dogfighting it for quite a while.
Yeah.
And it was actually it was making fun. They reckon it wasn't going to hurt them, but it was making fun of them.
Yeah, it outpaced them.
Yeah.
And there was, in the 4 days, there was 100 and something
They reckon
unknown events happened in that 4 days.
But they reckon these Tic Tacs originally, the Princeton actually picked them up in a formation.
In a formation of 10.
Of 10. There were 10 of these Tic Tacs in a formation.
And they were flying at 28,000 feet at 100 feet. 100 knots, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Which is unbelievable. We can't get a plane to go that slow at that height. It's going to fall out of the fucking
And you know
sky.
what? Here's the thing that's really crazy about that documentary and gives this a lot of credibility is the fact that almost every UFO video you ever see, the video footage is shit. The quality's terrible. The quality in this is immaculate.
And that's apparently...
Immaculate,
again, we goes back to, that's apparently, if you're listening to all those guys, that's bad quality.
Yeah.
The quality, the original quality that they saw was brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was, 13 minutes long.
Yeah.
So where's the rest
I just want to know what what they don't talk about, unless I haven't seen it yet, because I'm only 2 or 3 episodes into what is it, a 7-parter?
I believe it's 7
7 parts, yeah. I have yet to hear them what they think the submerged Tic Tac was. Because it looked like the second Tic Tac was looking for the first one, and it found it, and it hovered over it for a while, and then when it saw the fighter planes come, the F-18s, it sort of went fuck, and it hid underneath the water at rapid speed and went past the submarine and went, oh fuck, better go further, deeper, and it went deeper and deeper and deeper.
Just imagine this little alien,
right?
Oh
and
fuck!
Then it just went, all right, cool. I'm just going to go out of the water and fuck off. But while I'm doing that, I'm going to have fun with these F-18s.
Yep.
But that submerged Tic Tac, I think's the key to the whole thing, because it's just sitting under the water there, and it had been there for a while. It had been there for a while.
That was bigger, wasn't it? The one
it was bigger.
bigger.
Yes, it was bigger than the original, the smaller Tic Tacs that were fighting with the F-18s, and it had been there for quite a while because it was the Princeton or the Princetown, however you pronounce it, contacted the Nimitz and asked them, "Can you please send your fighter pilots that you've got in your squadron as a training exercise? Send them to these coordinates. We've seen this thing for ages." At these coordinates, and can you investigate it? Because they thought it was a downed airplane at one point. So that thing had been there for a while. So I want to know, that it would be to me, that's the key. What the fuck is that thing doing down there? You know?
Collecting whales, I told you.
I think it might be taking, well, you know what? I got a theory about it. Actually, I got a theory about this shit later on.
Maybe it was the dolphins.
Well, you know what? I reckon it's trying to extract sperm whales. Sperm. Because they want to breed. They want to breed with something. You know what I mean?
Well,
I'll tell you something else. Are we satisfied with what we've talked? Because the Tic Tac event's fucking a rabbit hole, and you can't answer that.
You can't.
You can't answer that shit.
No.
That's a big one, though. That's a huge one.
Oh, it's massive. All 3 of them. The whole 3 events are just...
So the 3 events are the downed, submerged Tic Tac.
Yep.
The dogfight with the F-18s from the Nimitz.
No.
What?
So the 3 events... the 3 big events are the gimbal, which is the last one, the video, which was 2015.
Oh, well, I haven't seen that. I don't know enough about it.
Tic Tac is an event in itself.
Yep, okay.
So the actual...
Are these all captured by naval vessels?
This is all military.
This is all military. So there's 3 of...
Are we talking Navy or are we talking
Navy?
Air Force?
Navy. Air Force.
Air Force.
That's what I mean.
Air Force hasn't come out
That's
with
what I mean.
anything.
So imagine what they're fucking got.
Well, that's
Oh,
the
mate,
thing.
they must have some fucking awesome shit.
Mind you, the Navy has a fair proportion of the fighter jets up in the sky.
They do, and I mean, where they were, Santa Cruz is a hot spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, why? What's in that water, man?
Well,
What's
massive,
in that ocean, man?
massive fucking volcanic eruptions and
You know
trenches.
what? I reckon
and
there's a couple of aliens parked down there, man. I'm no bullshit.
It's deep enough.
Yeah.
terror from the deep.
Well, you can't get that. You can't get that deep in a submarine.
No.
No.
Well, who knows if they can? But it's just the team that's looking into it at the moment. It is a credible team.
Yeah, but that's wacky.
Oh,
Tom
mate,
DeLonge is heading this team.
Maybe he just had more money than he knew what to do
No,
with.
man, I'm telling you, no. It's just look. He's very passionate about UFOs.
He's passionate about UFOs and he has money. He's eccentric and he has money.
I ain't buying it
Really? I reckon if
because he sidestepped the question directly when he was asked, "Why you?"
Because it's a hobby.
No.
Yeah,
Everyone needs a hobby. I reckon it's just I honestly think it's because he's eccentric, he has some money, and he's doing it for shits and giggles.
I don't know, man. I'm not buying it, dude.
there's something.
There's something going on.
He's doing it for all the hot nerd chicks.
Yeah, well, maybe.
Yeah, how does someone like Louis Elizondo go and get in contact with Tom DeLonge?
That's what I mean.
Yeah,
So explain who Louis.
so Louis Elizondo,
Yep.
Elizondo,
Yep.
he was the head of ATIP.
Yep.
So he quit in 2017
Do we know why he quit?
because he was sick and tired of everything and wanted to come out. He wanted stuff to come out.
Right, okay.
And he was in his job. He was having to hush.
So ATIP's obviously captured a lot of material that's classified and might be released to the general public at all.
At all. Well, he's hoping to get it released, and that's what they're hoping for now.
Well, the freedom of speech act is.
Well, Bernie Sanders made a promise on the
Yeah,
Joe
he did.
Rogan
That was
podcast.
hilarious. Were you telling me about aliens? Yeah. Bernie Sanders has got dick of chance of being
None.
president.
He's not even going to make it.
Nah,
through the
he won't.
final
He won't
round.
even be a candidate from the Democratic Party. He won't make it.
No, but look. Well, Trump's been advised on it now, isn't he?
Yep.
They've spoken to Trump about it. There's a heap of Congress guys. So the episode I've just watched, they were actually going to Congress with a report.
Something's happening, don't you feel?
Oh, something's happening.
Something's happening. Like
Things are escalating.
I know
Yeah.
2004 in our eyes was a long time ago, right?
No, it feels kind of recent.
2004.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was fucking what?
but,
13 years ago.
But it doesn't feel like a long time ago.
No more. How long was that ago? 17 years ago.
15 years.
15.
15. Well, that's a long time in our eyes, but
Yeah.
what
At
I'm
our
s-
age, yeah.
At our age, but what I'm saying is the the 2000s and right up until recently, there's been a lot of UFO activity.
Particularly recently, the
Right?
last year or so.
That's why we talked about this before. Bob Lazar has come back out again on the bandwagon.
They're trying to soften the blow.
Yeah, but there's something going on. with
There's
all of
definitely
this-
something
yeah.
going on.
What is
There's-
it?
What have they found? What has the Earth got that
Maybe
they want?
maybe they finally did figure out how to unlock some of the secrets in those UFOs they're keeping in Area 51, like Bob Lazar was talking
And
about.
you know what they are? They're like a car that's been stolen, and they got like an intergalactic.
They got a
an
GPS
alarm.
tracker on
They
them.
got a GPS, and then some fucking UFO. And you know what it is?
I gotta
It's-
go get some
you know what they
power
are?
converters.
They're the NRMA of aliens, and they're just coming to pick up their fucking lost and stolen car. Don't you reckon? That's what it is.
That's a good theory.
That's what it is. They're just like they've got their car stolen or their car crashed, and someone set off the alarm, and they've got like intergalactic NRMA aliens, and they're coming along to take their car back.
Galactic space aliens.
I've got a fucking big one here, right?
Do I have to turn the volume down?
No, I watched the other documentary I watched, which is old and a bit silly, but
the Nimitz one.
no, not the Nimitz one. This is the Roswell one.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay.
And one day I want to talk about Roswell in detail, but we won't today, right? I haven't got the energy or the time or the want. But I did watch the Alien Autopsy.
And I went home and watched that after we.
I told you about it, right?
Yes.
So obviously this is quite an old documentary now. It's about 25 years old. And
94, yeah.
yeah, 94, 95. And what's his
Riker's
name?
beard. What a beard.
Yeah, Riker. He's a beautiful man.
What a beard.
No, so what's his name? Jonathan Frakes hosts this show. He puts on the dramatic voice. Does a very good job of it. Awesome job.
Brilliant job.
He's really good at it, actually. And he goes over with these other experts the military filmed autopsy of a captured
autopsy.
alien that the military decided to do an autopsy on. Now, what had happened was when the Roswell crash occurred, apparently there were 4 aliens. 3 of them were severely injured and later died, right? And this is where it's a bit crazy. The surviving alien, apparently to the children of the military personnel that were at the time of the Roswell crash, they basically said that the surviving alien was very sad. They could tell it was very sad and upset that its fellow aliens were killed. And one of them was holding, the one surviving alien was holding like a triangle to its chest. And the military went in and basically tried to get the triangle thing off the alien. And the alien wouldn't let it go. And so one of the military personnel, one of the MPs, hit it with a rifle. Hit it in the head with a rifle. And the lady that was saying it was a daughter of the guy that did it. And she said, and he later regretted doing that. She felt very bad because the alien was clearly in pain and very upset and scared that it was captured, right? This is what was right?
Yep.
Now, one of the aliens that was killed in the crash, at the Roswell crash, was later, an autopsy was later done on it, right? And it was believed to have been killed because of a severe leg injury that it had.
Yes.
Now, the military went in, I don't know why, but they went in and they filmed this autopsy. Now, from an outsider looking in, it looks fake as fuck. It looks fake as fuck, man. It looks dodgy, right? And this is from a guy.
The dodgiest part for me
I
was
want to
when
believe.
they cut the eyes.
Oh, it looks terrible.
When he peels that black bit off
Yep.
the eyes, it was like...
Looks terrible, man.
What?
You know what I loved? You know what I fucking loved? They blurred out the genitalia of the alien. That's the best bit. There was an alien on the autopsy table, and they've got like the montage.
Why can't they just do the share? If you could turn back time.
That's right. But you know what the best bit was? When they actually went over the autopsy details, they said that they couldn't work out if the alien had any genitalia at all. So why did they black it out? Are we assuming their genitalia is between their fucking legs?
Well, maybe it identified as one in
they might be really diverse and eat a lot of smashed avocado, and the aliens go, today I am female. Today I will be male. Right? I fucking put money on it. They're so advanced, right? I'm going to appeal to all you fucking left-wing hippie motherfuckers right now, right? In San Francisco and everywhere else. You smashed avocado-eating pricks, right? The aliens are so diverse that they will be absolutely... They will have a dick and a vagina. So they'll appease everybody.
Do they tick male or female?
I'll tell you what they do.
They tick other.
Get ready for this. If I was Alex Jones, I'd say... We have news here at InfoWars.com.
Sounds like
that the alien that was autopsied at the Roswell crash looked like a child. It actually had the features of a child. And what we have learned is that these aliens actually will transform into child superstars like Justin Bieber. And it is obvious that Justin Bieber was an alien hybrid because he sang limited songs like, ooh, baby, baby, ooh. Only a few words to a song, but that is an intergalactic cry for help. And we also have news here at Overwars.com that these aliens don't really have a gender, and that is offensive to the aliens. And I put it to you, the American people, that we have a right to know if that alien on the autopsy bed had a penis or a vagina. I want to know what an intergalactic alien's vagina looks like. I want to see it. I want to know the truth.
Why don't they go ask William Shatner?
You know what William Shatner would say? We have got to find a solution. There has to be a solution. I want to know the size of the penis.
I don't know who plowed more aliens. Riker?
No, Kirk did.
Kirk did?
Oh, he fucked a lot of chicks, man.
Well, we think they were chicks.
Well, he got it on with a green one.
Yeah.
As you do.
Oh yeah,
he was
an Andorian. He got it on with an Andorian.
He was a interesting man.
Why not? Mate, you're a captain of a starship as if you're not going to pull. Right? That's why, I tell you what, Picard pulled better chicks though. But he didn't pull a lot of them. But when he did, he got really good ones like that Vash. Remember that Vash? Right? He pulled her. Season 3, Captain's Holiday. That was the name of the episode in season 3. He went on holiday because he had too much leave, and he got really great. Because what I love about Patrick Stewart on Star Trek The Next Generation, every episode he got the shits. And one day he got really snappy with Beverly Crusher, and Dr. Crusher said, "That's it, you need a holiday." And he says, "Well, fuck this, I'm not going on a holiday." So they sent him to Riser, the holiday world, right?
That's right. Season
3, Captain's Holiday. You fuck, look it up, right? And anyway, while he's on holiday, he meets these aliens that have got a time machine or something like this, and they're hiding. And then he meets that Vash. And let me tell you about that Vash. She was one hot piece of enchilada. I tell you now, I'll give you the whole enchilada. And he could have had her. And he goes, "No, I love the Enterprise even more. Make it so." And that was it. He fucking wanted. That was it. Did you see her?
Oh, no, sorry. I'm
her?
on the To the Stars Academy website. And apparently they've got the metamaterial acquisition.
What's that mean?
So remember he was talking about in the podcast that metal they had. Mm-hmm. Well, apparently they've got it. According to their website.
What does that achieve? Does that prove that there's alien technology that they've got?
It'd prove that a material isn't of this world potentially, or
but so
it's not something that's accessible.
But Bob Lazar's already proven that.
Well, Element 155.
Exactly, he already proved that in the 80s, and he said that they found an element that didn't exist on the periodic table, and then in the late 90s it appeared, didn't it?
Mind you, they still can't make it stable.
No, but that's not of this world. He actually proved it.
Yeah. So they're researching it at the moment. So as of the 25th of July, they've acquired multiple pieces of a metamaterial and archive.
So going back to this Roswell autopsy,
yes,
right? So that on this is a really old documentary.
It is anciently old.
Ancient, but
it's not even in 16:9. It's
in
4:9.
It's in 4:3, isn't it?
4:3, sorry, yeah.
It's in the.
It's got the black.
Got the black bars on it,
yeah,
right?
Man.
And Riker still looks pretty good, right? But now he's a fat fuck. He's a bit like William Shatner went when William Shatner
was a powerful beard.
He used to wear a girdle. Do you know this?
Wouldn't surprise me.
Season 3, William Shatner used to wear a what do they call it? Is it a girdle? Where they hold the gut in?
Yeah, a corset, isn't it?
A corset, something.
Yeah.
He had to wear one. So he looked a little bit more trim and lean than he actually was. That's no bullshit. That's no bullshit.
So funny.
That's true, right? And so anyway, on this alien autopsy, which I saw on Netflix, it has the video footage of the military personnel capturing not capturing the alien, but doing the autopsy of the alien. And what they do is they decide to go through step by step and try and disprove it.
Yes.
Firstly, they say, was the film that was used in this camera, which they somehow got possession of it, is that legit film? And they went to some people.
Well, they had all the film because the film got given to that guy. Remember?
That's right. Yeah,
and they were trying to find the cameraman.
That's right. And so the guy said, "Yeah, that would have been the film in the 40s that we used.
Yeah, we used that film from 1945 to 1960
something. Yeah, that was the Kodak film that we used.
Yep.
That's legit. All right.
And that's right because you had it's got the indicators on it, hasn't
That's
it?
right.
So it was the square and the triangle, which indicated that it was either 1947, 1967, or something like that. Yeah.
So there's that, right? The second one was they said, all right, well, the flashing that occurs intermittently with the camera, is that legit? And they actually got a guy. This is how old this fucking show is. They got a guy that still looked okay from World War II that was paid by the Army to capture footage of the Navy in action during World War II in the Pacific campaign.
Cameras were pre-focused.
And he said that's what the cameras used to do. They used to flash like that. So that is actually legit.
Yep, and they couldn't focus because they didn't have autofocus.
That's right. So that was all okay. So they've ruled out all of that silly stuff.
Yep.
The other thing they did was that they went to a Hollywood movie maker.
Stan, the guy who created Aliens.
He created Aliens. Yeah, he did the Alien, right? Whatever his name was. And they said to him, would this be... this alien that's being chopped up by these doctors, would that 100% be a movie prop? Could you do that? And he looked at it and said, well, you know what? I would struggle making an as convincing alien as these military personnel did, because that looks so real. The way that the blood flows when they cut into it, the way that the organs look when they open up the chest, the whole thing, right? He actually said it would cost a lot of money back then to make this doll look as convincing as it did.
And he'd be proud of it.
And he goes, I'd be proud of it. I don't think I could do as good job. And I made the alien from Aliens, right? Holy shit! Ruled that out. What was the other thing they went into? Oh, they went to a doctor that does autopsies.
Yes.
And they said, okay, you do autopsies. How does this look is this legit? And he goes, well, actually it is, because back in the 40s, they used to use deep trays where all the surgical tools were.
So that's what they did. They investigated all the stuff that was around, like the clock on the wall.
The clock on the wall, was it made in the 40s? It was made in the 40s. All that shit, right? And they pretty much said they can't deny that they can't prove that it's fake.
Yes.
It looks like it's real. But when I watch it, it looks fake as fuck.
Oh, it looks horrible.
It looks silly, right? And the alien looks silly, and you're right, when they cut its eyes open,
that
looks really fake, right?
That was like we've cast the eyes at this width, and we've just put this black film there, and then he peels it out. And I was like, oh.
But then they go, what sort of convinced me more than the actual debunking of the autopsy footage, they go and speak to the family members of the army personnel that they were at the Roswell crash, like the daughters and the sons of the personnel. And they unanimously, they looked straight down the lens of the camera and went, my father was very upset when he saw the aliens. They all looked, one of them was very upset and he looked alone and scared, and they beat him with a gun rifle, and we feel bad. They felt bad about that later, that if the aliens' introduction to Earth was that, how bad do we look? And they looked sincere when they said it, right? Yeah. Now, are they making that shit up? Who fucking knows? I don't know. But that Roswell autopsy, right, that's another rabbit hole.
Oh, the whole Roswell thing's another rabbit hole.
That's another rabbit hole.
Project Blue Book, isn't it?
Yes.
Which is the Men in Black.
Men in Black, yeah. That's right. Men in Black, they came out and they cleaned up the mess, and they stopped people from asking questions.
Yes, and then sat there and went, no, you never did see that.
You never saw it. No, you didn't see that.
Because it's just a balloon.
It was a weather balloon.
Just a balloon.
That's right.
Yeah, it was a special kind of weather
balloon. Then they
balloon.
staged the photographs. Remember that? They staged the photographs.
Yes.
They tried to cover it up by having the guy hold up the weather balloon. Mm-hmm. And he knew he was doing the wrong thing. He saw something else. He claims that he was told, you're going to stand in this room, you're going to hold up this bit of foil, which is the weather balloon, and you're going to look straight in the camera and pretend that this is the thing that you saw.
Yes.
And he denied it. Many years later, he denied that that's what happened. So, who knows, man? Roswell's another fucking rabbit hole.
That's it, but that's an Air Force one. So, the Air Force have kept very quiet.
Yeah,
It makes it hard to...
Do you reckon they're ever going to come out and say...
They're going to have to.
Something's going to happen.
You know what? I reckon there's going to be a massive event, and they can't deny it.
Yeah.
It'll be Independence Day.
September 22nd.
What's happening September 22nd?
What's that?
Isn't that the Formula One? No.
Or is it?
No, we did that podcast.
Yeah, that's the last podcast. Get up to date. No, September 22nd is the Storm Area 51 thing.
Oh, God, I can't
Well,
wait.
you know what? We had this discussion with Sassy Sahini. Shout out to her. You haven't heard it yet. We haven't uploaded it yet.
I haven't heard anything about
At the time of this recording, it hasn't been uploaded. She hit me with that, and she said, "Oh, what do you think's going to happen with these idiots?
They're all going to get shot.
You know what's going to happen to them? Dick, nada, right? They're fucking idiots.
They're all a bunch of fat fucks.
Well, I'll tell you what's going to happen.
Well, so they're all going to a few problems.
They're all going to get locked in jail.
They're going to the wrong side of Area 51. Mm-hmm. The town that they've planned to go to has now come out and said, "Come if you want. Make sure you bring supplies because we don't
can't
fucking
feed
have
ya.
anything here. We're a town with a shop and 2 houses." And
bring your sleeping bag.
Well, I'm thinking what we need to do is ship to America, buy a semi-trailer, fill it with water and food, and drive out to this place.
Make a fortune.
$10 a bottle of water.
Yep.
The SCC can do it. We can do it. Why not?
Well, let's assume that they even get that far. I don't think they will.
It's 80 miles.
Because, well, you know what's going to happen? The army's going to see a group of fucking idiots get over the fence. You know what they're going to do?
There's actually no fence.
Well, they're going to get on their property.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of signs littered around.
But they're going to get on their property, right? And the army has the right to hold them up with guns.
They've changed the signs recently.
Have they?
Yes. So they used to be
excessive force or something like this.
Used to be excessive force. They've dumbed the and now modern. These modern fucking people, you're not allowed to do that. That they'd be offended if you tried to do excessive force. So now it's just imprisonment and fines.
Yeah.
But they've dumbed down the signs, which is a bit.
Pretty
sad.
sure they'll be locked up pretty quick.
But they're going to get locked up because that's private property and they're trespassing.
Well, see, this is the other argument. It's not private property, is it? It is public land. A defence force land.
I thought the army owned it.
But it's part
or
of...
the government owned it.
It's part of the government. And that's one of the arguments at the moment is, well, government land technically is public land.
Oh, I don't know. But you know what? Let's say you're right, and they overcome all of those obstacles.
So how many people have actually signed up for this bullshit?
It was 1.5 million before Facebook took it down.
Yeah, but you know what?
No way they're going to show
But
up.
here's the thing, right? Let's assume you can get past all of that stuff you just said, and you're right. Where are you going to go? You don't even know what you're looking for. How are you going to get in? It's all secured.
You're 80 miles away from the Groom Lake Gate,
Yeah,
which is the furthest part.
But where do you know do you know where to look? You don't even know where to look.
I like one of
right?
the military guys. I don't know. Well, can't remember his name. He's coming out going, "You want to see Area 51? Google Maps."
Exactly, that'd be your best bet. But even then, even if you sat down with Google Maps, do you know the exact place the security post is? And even if you get to the security post where the guard is and the boom gate is, how are you going to get in? You haven't got a pass. Are you going to get down because it's all in a bunker, by the way. This shit is not.
It's
not sitting on top of the land. It's in a bunker. They've built a fucking network of bunkers there. How are you going to get through those bunkers? Do you know where you're going? What are you looking for? And what do you expect to see? You're going to see nothing.
Do you know what? If the military was smart, what they would be doing now
They've moved it all anyway.
They've moved it all.
They reckon they've moved
No.
it.
They should rock up on the day with a bunch of buses and go, "Hey guys, open tour. Let's go and do a tour of the facility." And then they're all like, "Oh, there's."
But
nothing."
They reckon it moved years ago.
They reckon
it was late 60s. It was at another. What's the name of the? I can't remember the name of the base, but it's all been at another base.
You know why they've moved it? Because people know about Area 51. No. They know about Area 51 now. Where they've moved the good stuff, the really good stuff that we want to see, and everybody wants to see, they've moved it to an undisclosed location. There'd be a handful of people that know where it is, right? And maybe Trump's one of them, right? But other than that, it's like...
nah, he doesn't know shit.
You know what it is? It's like Camp David.
Oh, yeah.
You know where Camp David, that's where
a mountain.
Right?
It's Bush's place.
Same fucking thing, man. I'm telling you now, it's in some fucking weird remote place that you wouldn't even know where it is. So these people...
How much of land do you reckon the military owns that people have no idea about?
More than you would imagine. More than you could understand, right?
They've got Pine Gap in the middle of the Australian outback.
But
ain't no one getting there.
But they're not transferring fucking aliens to Pine Gap. You know what I mean?
You don't know.
Anything that was in Area 51 that was sensitive...
would
have been long gone, right?
Gone.
And so these idiots are going to go to that area, and what are you looking for? What are you going to find?
I reckon they're going to just open it up and say, "Let's go on a tour."
No, they won't.
Buses,
they won't.
drive.
They won't because they won't. They won't give them that freedom. They will stop them at the front door and say, "You can't come in." And you're going to protest? Fucking protest, but we're not going to feed you. But you know what else is going to happen? I'll put fucking money on this. Some smashed avocado eating prick's going to roll their ankle, break their leg
in the middle of the property.
In the middle of the property and expect to be helped, right? And people, and I reckon by right the army should say, well, no, you're trespassing. Why should we help you?
Go play with the rattlesnake.
Go play. How many people are going to get bit by rattlesnakes? How many people are going to get hurt? How many people are going to get hypothermia? How many people are going to get sunburnt? Fucking you name it, right? Because it's in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, and I mean even the young fella who started it. He's come out going, "I just did it as a joke, guys."
Yeah, well, he should be fucking shot, that bloke, because he started bullshit. And I tell you, somebody's going to get hurt. They really are.
It'd be interesting to see what happens.
How irresponsible is that? And that's another fucking reason why Facebook is a debacle of a fucking platform, because that shit, that should have been taken down well before.
It's back. It got taken down, and then there was an outcry by the public because it got taken down.
No.
And Facebook put it back and went, "Oh, sorry, we didn't actually mean to take it down. It was a mistake."
Because you know what? At the end of the day, some things shouldn't be free. I'm sorry, they shouldn't be. You shouldn't have the right to walk on property like that and expect to walk up to the front door and then get a guided tour of the facility, because it ain't going to happen, right? And then expect somebody, because I guarantee you, how many people are going to storm it, do you think? How many people
out of the 1.5 that have
say half?
Oh, no, not even. I reckon you'll get 2,000.
Yeah, about to say you'll get the hardcore guys.
2,000 people. Are you in agreement with me? At least 100 people are going to hurt themselves. Somebody's going to hurt themselves, aren't they? Someone's going to get burnt. Someone's going to get fucking lost. Someone's going to get dehydrated.
Yeah, somebody's going to run out of avocado.
Someone's going to run out of fucking avocado.
They're going to get out there. They can't have their latte with their
very, very hard to get a latte and an avocado.
Right. So what's going to happen? Right. So you're now saying to me,
the others are just going to stay.
You're saying to me the government now of the United States should go and help that person. That's taxpayers' money now.
I'm pretty sure there's enough cells around to put them in jail.
That's
Oh,
what I'm
they would be out
saying.
there.
Some things shouldn't be free, right? That is not land that you should be fucking around on, right? And then let's assume that you do have the right to go to that because it's for the people, all this bullshit. Then you're going to go to the fucking front door and knock on the door and expect to be let in. You know why that's not allowed? Because you name every major multinational corporation, when they've got a facility, are you allowed to walk up to that facility
Nope.
That's the same thing in my book.
Yeah, go knock on, I don't know, AWS's data center and see if you get let in the door.
So you go to go to a private residence or a private property or a government-run facility or a.
Go walk on the Pentagon and go.
You know what
hey,
the same
knock,
thing
knock.
is. You know what the same thing is. I'll give you the best analogy I can give you, right, to save a bit of time that I can pull out of my ass. Are you allowed to walk up to an electricity facility and just knock on the door and say, I want to see where you generate the power"? No. A nuclear power plant, which the United States has. Are you allowed to walk in and go, show me where the fucking reactor is?
But they let Homer Simpson work there.
Maybe the one in Springfield, but not any other one.
No. It's the same fucking thing.
Look, I reckon if you paid enough, Mr. Burns would let you in.
Maybe.
Or if you're cute enough, because we all know which way Mr. Burns swings.
Oh, he liked, Smithers. No, actually, Smithers liked him.
Smithers liked him, wasn't it? Damn.
Yeah, that was a bit weird. No, but what I'm saying is that they shouldn't be allowed to fuck around in that.
No.
But the big issue they've got, unlike if you walk into let's say you walk into a head office of a company, and you're a visitor, and you don't work there, you don't have security access.
No,
right?
you got to survive the orientation.
You got to get inducted.
3
right?
points of contact.
3 points of contact walking down the stairs. Go fuck off, you corporate world motherfuckers, right? Are you allowed to just walk into that facility? No, you're not. There's forklifts running around in the warehouse. You're allowed to walk in it. No, you're not. It's the same thing as this facility. It's the same thing.
And I guarantee there's fucking all sorts of landmines and all sorts of shit, probably.
They don't know what they're walking into, man. And they think they've got the right. You don't have the right. And if you want to argue with me that you do, you don't. Because if you want to have that attitude, okay, well, should you be allowed to walk into the next fucking company facility that you drive past? No. All the places that you work in, right, in a multinational corporation or any company, can you just walk up? No, you can't.
No, you got to ring in.
Because those fucking idiots they're hypocrites. Can I tell you? Now I'm going to rant. They're hypocrites. They made sure that they had all the security in the world after 9/11, right? And they made all the companies in the world fucking go completely overboard with security, right? We all were part of that bullshit. And I used to work for one of them, right? And the point is now they're saying, we can just walk in. No, you can't. You're a security risk. I'm sorry you are.
Yep.
The military run that place. I'm sorry if you don't agree with it.
They also use it as a testing ground. They blow shit up on it. That's kind of what it's there for. You really think they're going to allow you to do that shit?
And even if you got through all of those hoops and all of that other bullshit, you walk up to the front door, and even if they let you in...
What are you going to say?
What are you going to say? Hi. But even if you get let in, which they won't, but even if you do, what are you looking for? Do you know where to go?
No.
It's a big fucking ground. It's a big facility, man.
Massive. And it's split. There's not just... you got Area 51, you got Groom Lake. There's meant to be another one...
All these places, right?
And they're
even fucking
kilometers and kilometers.
It's not like it's a hike away.
But even Bob Lazar, who came out and said he worked there,
he doesn't know where.
He doesn't know where all this shit is either, and he fucking worked there. So you're telling me a bunch of smashed avocado eating pricks with fucking lattes in their hand and fucking all the other bullshit that they want expect to be given a guided tour and know where to go? They're fucking idiots. That's another reason why the human race is on the verge of fucking destruction.
Maybe that's why there's an alien sort of UFO increase lately because of the uselessness of
maybe avocados at their end of the world.
No, I'll tell you what. I like the theory we're ants to them. They're just curious now because they're looking at our progress in terms of technology and population, and they're going, "Oh, these are interesting things to look at."
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Is this what we were like when we were
I'll tell you
before
what,
that?
I'll tell you what it's like. I'll tell you one as an analogy, right? When you drive to Canberra, you go to Goulburn and you stop off at the McDonald's and you do a piss and you might get a thick shake.
And you look at the big...
That's what the planet Earth is. That's what the planet Earth, it's just stretching their legs. They got a long trip from fucking one universe to another universe, and the planet Earth's a good place to go and have a look at.
It sounds
you know
like
what I mean?
it's the Thornley Maccas.
It's the Thornley Maccas, right?
I hate that Macca's. It's so inconvenient because I have to go off the main drag.
Or it's the big. It's
halfway.
You know what it is? It's the big banana. Right, you go up to Coffs Harbour and you have a look at the big pineapple and the big banana. That's what the planet Earth is.
Yeah.
And the aliens go, I'm not stopping till we get to fucking Mars. And the kids go, nah, I need to piss, Dad.
Are we there yet?
Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Intergalactic aliens are like, are we there yet? Are we there yet? You know what they do? They go, all right, you fucks. And you know what they do? They stop and they do a shit or a piss and they open up their hatch and they let their piss and shit go on the planet Earth and they fuck off. That's what the Tic Tacs did. They just did a piss and shit, and while they were there, they were having a look around and went, this place is fucked, Dad, let's go. I'm telling you now,
So they really were in Goulburn.
They were, man.
That place.
They said, fuck this shit. And you know what? Some of the poor little pricks, they did the same thing when they came to Roswell. Yeah. They just stopped to have a piss and a shit because they're on their way to some other planet. And the poor little pricks got fucking... A lightning bolt hit them, right?
Crashed.
And they crashed and three of them fucking died. And you know what? There was an intergalactic news. It was Intergalactic InfoWars. And fucking Intergalactic Alex Jones went, we have news here that the people on the planet Earth, they're a bunch of apes. And you know what? We have news here that they've shut down one of our UFOs and using us for experiments. I say we boycott planet Earth. They're suppressive personalities.
Boycott the planet Earth.
I'm telling you now.
We're not going to go back till 2004.
That's all we are. That's all we are. We're a curiosity to them. That's all we are. Because I'll tell you what, if they wanted to wipe us out, they would have easily done. We'd be fucked, mate. Yeah. We'd be fucked.
These people who, there's nothing out there. Have you seen the size of the fucking universe? You cannot tell me there is nothing out there.
And I still don't believe... Look, I believe what Bob Lazar said, where he said some of the things that you see in Area 51 around the S4 facility in terms of test flights at night, they were man-made, right? We are messing and we are reverse engineering alien technology, and we have integrated it to our own technology and our own capabilities, and we have created aircraft that we perceive as being extraterrestrial in its nature, but it's not. We created it. But I also think things like the Tic Tac, that shit didn't come from here. There's no way human beings would create that. No fucking
Gimbal's
way.
The same. You look at Gimbal. There's no way. That is Flight of the Navigator shit.
Oh, that was an awesome movie. 1986 Flight of the Navigator. What a fucking great movie. And he goes back in time.
So you know when
that was in 1986 that movie came out, and he went back and he went into the future in 1986, but it was from the 70s because they kept asking you what president is of the United States. He goes, Jimmy Carter. That's no bullshit. I remember that fucking movie.
So you know when he's sitting in front of the hangar and it transforms? Remember
it's liquid. The stairs go liquid.
But it transforms from one shape to another.
Yep.
So the gimbal actually looks like the second... where he scoots across the sky, across the land really quick.
Do you remember the Flight of the Navigator? He sits in the chair and the little
eye comes out.
And he goes, compliance. And he goes...
It works in HR.
Mate.
Compliance.
He goes, compliance.
You need a new table.
Do you know what he was doing an ergonomic assessment? Compliance. No, but remember when he sat in his name was Jimmy.
Yeah.
And he sat in the chair.
Can you fix the chair?
That's right, yeah.
Compliance.
He goes, compliance.
He puts a little buffer things in there.
Remember when the stairs fell down? And he gets put in a NASA to do experiments on him. Because you remember he goes missing. He goes missing and his parents don't know where he went to.
And he was only gone for a couple of minutes. Yeah.
In his eyes, he went for a couple of minutes, but he actually was missing for 13 years. And he comes back and his parents find him and he hasn't aged, but his brother, his younger brother, is now his older brother. Remember?
It's like Jumanji.
And he goes, what happened? He goes, I was only gone for a few minutes. And they go, no, you've been gone for 13 years and your brother's come back and he's got a man-child beard and all this sort of shit, right? And he meets that hot fucking nurse. Remember that hot nurse? She was a fucking piece of work, the nice nurse that he met. And she's like, it'll be all right, Jimmy. And she's putting electrodes on his chest. Remember that?
I do.
Jesus Christ.
Yep. And then he hid in a little tray, a coffee cart thing to get out of NASA. They got him out. And the only way he could go back in time was to go back on the alien ship. And the alien ship would take him back to his proper time. Remember that?
Vaguely.
Flight of the Navigator. No bullshit.
Jesus
look it up. 1986. I'm telling
no,
you.
trust-
Have you looked? No, look it up. Why'd you look it up? You fuck. 1986. I'm telling you now.
Jesus, so we're going to wrap this thing up. You said 45 minutes, mate. We've now been going an hour and a half.
Oh, wow. Have we?
No, we got a lot to talk about.
Yeah, man.
I want to be done in fucking 45 minutes.
Silence.
Shame.
Or is it 84? Flight of the Navigator. Dun, 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 dun.
What did you say?
I said 86 originally, but it could be 84.
Release date for Australia? 25th of June,
Yep.
1987.
You're wrong, motherfucker.
Down.
Initial DVD release, 1st of June, 2004.
What about United States release?
That's what I'm just trying to find now. I'm just trying to get...
Because I'm sure in the movie he says they say 86 in the movie.
I thought it was 86 as well.
In the movie, he actually says he gets told he's been put into the future to 1986, but he's from the late 70s.
No, yeah, release date, August 1st, 1986.
Yes.
A budget of $9 million.
Wow. So it was originally released in the States in 1986.
Yep.
Because remember back in those days, Rocket Russell,
Oh,
shit
yeah.
got delayed out here, man.
Yeah.
So now it's worldwide release now.
And
so,
we're normally first because sun...
yeah, the way the sun works. But back in those days, it was like months, maybe half a year before we got it.
Oh, ridiculous.
The only reason I remember it being 1986 is because the kid, Jimmy, they said to him, oh, this is 1986. He goes, no, it can't be. It's 1979. And they go, no, Jimmy, it's
1978 was when he was from, yeah.
78, yeah, he was from 78. And he goes, and they go, well, who's the president of the United States? He goes, Jimmy Carter. And they go, no, it's not. It's fucking George Bush or some bullshit. Remember that?
Yeah.
No, it was Ronald Reagan. Sorry,
Ronald
they go, it's
Reagan.
Ronald Reagan. Yeah. That's how I remember it was 1986. And then his brother comes to visit him, and his brother's like a grown man. And he's like, oh, you're younger than me, but you're my older brother. And the only way he can go back to his time is to get back onto the ship.
And his brother tries to help him, doesn't he?
His brother helps him, yeah.
Yeah.
And actually, so does that hot nurse. She helps him too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she wore that little dress, and she was quite nice. Have we said anything we wanted to say? I think the Tic Tac event is weird, man.
Oh, yeah, and it's one of those rabbit holes we could go on for hours.
I haven't watched enough of that documentary, but what was the documentary called again?
Unidentified. I'm on Unidentified. Inside America's UFO investigation.
This is where you'll find out about the Tic Tac event. This is a big. It's probably the biggest event
Biggest. Yeah.
in naval history.
Yep.
When it comes to UFOs.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people from two different naval vessels, as well as aircraft, saw some fucking weird shit.
Yeah. And
And the alien autopsy from Roswell, I think, still looks fake as fuck. Even though I really want to believe that it's true.
I want to believe.
I want to believe it's true.
I have to get an X-Files poster.
I've got it. I've got one.
I'm sure you have.
I know if I can do. Yeah, I do.
In the retro cave.
I do in the retro cave. Yeah, I do. That's right. So when I go to my house, it's like the retro cave. And then I've got a red phone. So Commissioner Gordon rings me up. And the car, when the Golf leaves the fucking house, you hear this. Have we said anything we wanted to say?
Oh, but look, it's one of those subjects we
I
can
don't
go on
know.
for days.
Yeah.
I think we call it here because Jason looks like he needs a piss and a sleep.
We've talked about Tom DeLonge.
We've talked about Tom
We've
DeLonge.
talked about Roswell. We've talked about the Tic Tac event.
What else was on
And
your magic
Nimitz.
list? And Nimitz.
And we've talked about Princeton
Yes.
or Princetown.
Princeton. There's Princeton.
With the fighter pilots that came forward, except for the female fighter pilot who's
Yep.
a bit... She's still active in the Navy. That's why she won't come forward.
Yep. Well, she's
She's
interview.
active. She's active
She's done
in
a
a-
Dennis interview.
She's done... Well, yeah, she's done a Dennis.
She's not allowed to.
So it
basically.
looks like, and I think I was just listening to something on the way to your place.
Maybe they're all after protoculture.
Yes, rabbit tick, though. Don't go down that rabbit hole. No. What were you going to say?
It looks like Unidentified Season 2 is going to pop up, and apparently Bob, our good mate Bob Lazar, pops
Features
up
in it?
somewhere.
Oh, nice. To say nothing.
So this is the first season that you've been watching that
Yes.
you gave me.
Yep.
In a secret meeting that we had.
Yes.
Mate, that was so... You know, that was so like... In 2019, Rocket Russell approached Retro Dan in an undisclosed location. He handed it a USB.
Surrounded by burning sulfur.
He said he gave him a USB stick. What was on the USB stick, Retrojan? Well, I tried to watch it, but there were pictures that only mummies and daddies should watch. But he said that it was about this alien conspiracy, but I don't know. All I know is there were pictures of mummies and daddies doing things that pictures that mummies and daddies should do.
Special cuddles.
No, they were giving like special cuddles. And then I felt something happen, and that's when I knew that I needed to pen. That's right. We'll end the podcast now that you can depend on ending at certain random times, but once again, we were not sponsored by the pen, but if you feel any kind of leakage of any type of, I don't know, if a hot, attractive female rubs up against you and you feel leakage like I have, Retro Dan uses the pen. That's right. I don't care about the extra bulging and sagginess. I need it. I'm done. I need to piss.
Yep.
Have you said anything you wanted to say?
Oh, look, we can go on forever, but that's enough for the moment.
Done. Jason, Relaxation, do you need to say anything else about this?
No.
You've been very quiet. Good, you fuck. Silence!
Oh, my head.
Silence!
I gotta take these
The sweet, sultry sounds of Dan ranting.
That's right.
Oh, fuck.
This has been Invert the Why. Captain's Log, Stardate Log 12.1.2. Thank you, Jason Relaxation, for being you, Dogo, or changing. Thank you, Rocket Russell, for coming in and educating us about more alien type artifacts. Thank you, Mum, for letting us use your basement. Thank you for the two people that have been listening to these podcasts. I'm sorry I read it about Tic Tac UFOs. I can't help it. It's a rabbit hole I can't get out of. I've been fascinated since Rocket Russell came to my house with a strange USB stick that had strange pictures of mummies and daddies doing things they shouldn't be doing. It's a rabbit hole I can't get out of, and now I'm fucking disturbed by Tic Tac, so I don't think I can...
Oops, sorry, wrong USB stick.
I don't think I can eat a Tic Tac ever again.
Well, you shouldn't, because that's what Barbie uses for a
I know,
period, isn't it?
And I'm a bit upset that the alien autopsy looked a bit dodgy because I want to believe in UFOs and aliens because I want to secretly get abducted by an alien and go up to alien.
Meet Sully.
I want to go to Alienville and have alien females try and use my sperm for.
Back X-Files Sully, not current Sully.
Yeah. Back in the day.
Back in the day.
I want to believe.
I want to believe.
I want to believe that I'm going to be successful one day and someone will love me, but it's never going to happen. And until next week, you fucking ingrate intergalactic motherfuckers. We'll talk about more retro and more bullshit, but until then, you can roll it, monkeys!